Why everyone hates you after 60. Ever paused in your favorite armchair, stared at the ceiling and thought, they've written me off like an old paperback nobody wants to read? You've closed one chapter at 65, but that doesn't mean your story's over, right? Let's flip the script on past your prime and show folks you're just getting started. You hang up your work badge and suddenly everyone assumes you've hung up life itself. They mutter, enjoy retirement, as if retirement equals game over. But here's the kicker. Retirement is just a new beginning. You traded suits for sweatpants, spreadsheets for sunsets, but your mind still hums with ideas. Remember how you mastered the family budget back in the day? That same savvy can launch you into mentoring a young neighbor on managing money. You've balanced tougher challenges than a 401k during a market crash, and that wisdom doesn't expire, all right? So pick up a fresh project. Maybe it's finally writing that short story you've had rattling around your head, or teaching Sunday school lessons at your church. You don't need a paycheck to prove your value, just a willingness to share your talents. When people see you pitching in, they'll stop seeing you as a cost center and start seeing you as a cornerstone. By the way, if you're digging this real talk, go ahead and tap that subscribe button for more from Elder's Life. We're just getting rolling, right? Now, about that generational gap, they scroll past your stories like they're old headlines. You talk about payphones and 8-tracks, they're stuck on TikTok and streaming. But you can bridge that gap without becoming a tech guru overnight. Start small. Ask your grandson to show you how to send a photo in a group chat, or have your niece teach you her favorite emoji. Suddenly, you're not out of touch, you're in touch, right? Last week, I tried a family video call on my granddaughter's recommendation. I fumbled, hit the wrong button, and her cat photo filter plastered whiskers across my face. We all cracked up together, me, the cat-faced grandpa, and the rest of the crew on screen. That shared laugh made me part of their moment, not a dusty sideshow. Here's the magic. When you invite them to teach you, you flip the power dynamic. You go from needing help to sharing an experience. And every time you ask, how do I do that again? You're reminding them you're still curious, still engaged, and curiosity is contagious. Right now, you might worry you'll always play catch-up, like you're destined to be the last one picked for the game. But tech isn't a wall, it's a bridge. You build one plank at a time, learn one new trick a week, celebrate each small victory, and pretty soon you'll surprise yourself and them. By owning a new skill, you stop being the older person who can't keep up. You become the wise friend who's always learning. And that earns respect faster than any title ever could. So let's recap without sounding like a boring recap, okay? You've got 2 weapons against hate at 65. Prove your value with a fresh passion and close that generational divide by asking for and sharing tech tips. You're not past your prime, you're at the launch pad. And you're not out of touch, you're right in the middle of the conversation. Keep that spark alive and watch respect follow. Stick around. Next up, we'll tackle how to master one tech at a time on your own terms. Until then, remember, your story's far from over, all right? And that's why mastering Just one app can turn the tide. Remember how I fumbled through that video call? Well, next time I sat down with my tablet, I decided to learn my grandkids' favorite chat app, just one feature at a time. I asked my granddaughter to show me how to send a voice note. She laughed, walked me through it, and suddenly I wasn't that old guy who can't figure out phones. I was the grandpa who left a funny message, right? Every time you conquer a small tech hurdle, you carve out a little corner in their world. Maybe it's sending a group photo, reacting with a thumbs-up emoji, or hopping on a quick family video. Each success reminds them that you're still curious, and curiosity commands respect. So pick one thing. Learn to text a birthday wish, post your favorite quote on a Facebook, or join a family group chat. You don't have to be the next tech whiz. You just need enough know-how to stay part of the conversation, all right? And when you slip up, and you will own it with humor, like the time I accidentally sent "love you" to my barber instead of my daughter. He called me thinking I'd lost my mind, and I got a kick out of setting him straight. Those little misfires become shared stories, not evidence of incompetence. They show you're brave enough to try, and that bravery earns you more grace than perfect performance ever could. Speaking of snap judgments, let's talk about getting stuck in a stereotype. You know the ones. The sweet old dear who can't handle big ideas, or the dotty grandpa who loses his keys every morning. They're lazy shortcuts for folks who don't bother to look deeper. But you're no stereotype. You're a one-of-a-kind blend of lived moments and hard-won lessons. So how do you shatter those boxes? It starts with a little showmanship. Wear that outrageous fedora you've kept hidden in the closet. Tell that bawdy story about the time you sneaked out to dance in a jazz club. Laugh loud and proud at your own jokes. When you refuse to shrink into the background, people can't help but lean in and pay attention, right? I remember walking into the local diner one morning wearing my bright red suspenders felt bold. I'll tell you that. The waitress nearly dropped her coffee cup. She blinked, looked again, then laughed so hard she spilled cream on the counter. That moment, it wasn't about the suspenders. It was about reminding her that I'm full of surprises. And suddenly, I went from just another pensioner to the guy who makes the whole place crack up. You don't have to stage a circus every day. Just drop an unexpected note into the everyday. Send a postcard printed with your own hand-drawn doodle. Show up at a grandchild's game wearing your college team cap. Crack a joke about your own quirks before anyone else can. Each twist adds color to your portrait and forces people to rewrite their assumptions. By leaning into your true self, you push back against the stereotype before it even forms. You're no dusty relic. You're a vibrant presence who refuses to be hidden away. And that kind of confidence doesn't go unnoticed. So far, we've turned tech clueless into tech curious. And we've morphed stuck in a stereotype into living in full color. Next, we'll tackle how staying quiet can turn you into background noise, and more importantly, how tiny outreach moves can bring you back into the spotlight. Until then, keep that tablet charged, that fedora handy, and remember, you're writing new lines in your story every single day, all right? When you tuck your stories away and keep quiet, you become the wallpaper everyone walks past, right? It's easy to slip into the background. No more jokes at the breakfast table, no more remember when tales on the porch, and suddenly folks forget you're even there. But staying silent only deepens that disconnect. So here's the fix. Reclaim your social footprint one little step at a time. Shoot off a goofy text yes, even if it takes 3 tries to spell your granddaughter's name right. Because every LOL you earn builds a bridge back into their world. Mail a postcard with a scribbled doodle inside. That shaky handwriting says, I'm here and I care. And people won't forget that effort. Pop by your neighbor's yard with a fresh-baked treat or an old photograph to share. Those small gestures remind everyone that you're more than just an extra seat at the table. You're the spark that lights up the conversation, all right? And don't underestimate the power of a simple phone call. A quick, just thinking of you can turn a quiet afternoon into a moment they'll replay all week. You'll light up their day, and in turn, they'll light you up. Because respect grows where connection flows. Remember, you're not asking for handouts. You're offering pieces of yourself. When you reach out, you show that you still matter, that your laugh, your advice, and yes, even your goofy tech mishaps are all parts of a life worth knowing. So that's the whole picture. Flip past your prime into just getting started. Bridge that generational gap. Master one tech trick. Shatter those old stereotypes and refuse to be quiet. You're not a fading memory. You're a living story, bursting with chapters yet to come. If this hit home, drop a comment below with the small move you'll make this week. A text, a visit, anything. And let's keep each other in the game. Hit that like button if you've ever felt invisible. Subscribe to Elders Life for more real talk. And check out the videos on your end screen for more ways to own your years.